Hey everyone, Peter here with Rover Vans, and today we're going to go over an installation of our brand new 2026 Mercedes-Benz Tire Carrier and Accessory rack. So for the purpose of this video, we decided to buy two identical vans. One of them has all the gear installed. It also has the extra large ski box on it. And there's a brand new van. We're going to do an installation on that. So the first thing I'd like for everyone to do is to print the instructions. You can get a PDF file from our website and go over the parts list. Make sure that everything is laid out, everything's there. So part one, we're going to remove whatever you guys have on the inside of the door. That is actually not necessary for the passenger door, but it will be necessary for the driver's side door. You can have a big plastic panel. It could come with a smaller panel. There's instructions on how to remove everything, but because there's different panels and these are already off, we're going to skip over that part today. Step two, painter's tape. We're going to mesh just like this. This is basically to protect while we're going to make a single hole in here. This middle connecting bracket for the tire carrier ladder system will go here. If you wiggle it, it's going to kind of end up right in the middle. Once we have that, mark where the hole will go. Just like this. After we have the hole marked, we're going to get one of these guys, punch a little hole. This will make sure that we are exactly on the spot when it comes to drilling. Once you've got your drill bit, this is an 8.5 millimeter, but you can find a size that is just slightly bigger than our bolt, and that's going to work fine. You don't have to have metric drill bits. Next step, we're going to take a deboring tool and we're going to debore our opening like this. After that, I like to take a vacuum, clean this area a little bit, and we're going to paint. So any automotive paint will do, unless you have special anti-corrosive stuff like we do. All right, so for this next part, we're going to assemble and install the hinge mounted part of the installation. We're installing these new tabs that we have, and these tabs are going to hold the cover in place that goes over the bolts. As you can see in here, you can't see the bolts anymore. We did this for aesthetic reasons and anti-tap reasons as well. You're gonna assemble it like this. The stainless steel piece will go first, then the black cover, and then the bolts. And this will go on the inside of the tire carrier, basically like that. But this is your upper back part, as opposed to the lower one, which looks like that. So upper, lower. And this goes in here just like this. So one thing I forgot in the video, we omitted the Loctite part, which is really important. So every one of the bolts that's going into the hinge brackets needs to have a red Loctite applied to it. We're gonna do that after the video. So remember Loctite. For this next portion of the installation, you will need a friend to help you out. So in the beginning, notice I'm just gonna hand tighten it. And if you could get another pair of hands to hold this unit for you, it'd be nice, but it's light enough where I can do this by myself. All right, do you have the second piece? I'm only gonna hand tighten this for now. Later during the installation, we're actually gonna raise the unit up a little bit. You're actually gonna aim to have this tab kind of in the middle of the tire carrier like this. Next step, we're gonna take our middle bracket and we're gonna install this part. So these bolts are wearing these plastic caps, which we can take off for now. Basically, this part goes underneath here, into the two holes, and these two bolts will go in here. And again, for now, we're still hand tightening everything. So you probably noticed that I didn't pay a ton of attention to exactly where that hole is, and this is because we have wiggle room. Obviously, you want to get it as much in the middle as you can, but as you can see, it lined up perfectly. Next, we're going to apply the rubber washer by removing this, and this will go on the back like this. Now this middle bolt will go in here. Some Sprinter doors have an opening here and some do not. I think typically when you have the original OEM big plastic cover, like for the passenger and the cargo vans, they will come with an opening. When you have just a cargo van like this one, it will come without an opening. You could drill a hole in here in order to kind of see where this is going, but if you put your hand in there, you're gonna find exactly where that bolt is sitting. Just kind of find the bolt, go over this guy, and you'll be fine. For this next part, we're gonna need a T45 ratchet, 1/4 inch, and a number 13, one of these. Second tricky part, this will go over the bolt. So you gotta, again, find that little guy. All right, we're not gonna tighten all the way, just kind of nice and loose because we still want a little bit of play in here for an adjustment. Once we have that, we're actually almost there. Now it comes the time where we're gonna adjust the leather up a little bit. The goal will be to have these stainless steel tabs in the middle of the opening here. We're gonna have number 15, same ratchet. We're gonna tighten just until you can feel any resistance, but we want to make sure that we can still move the unit up a little bit. And the way I have it now, it's tight enough where I can adjust it and it's gonna stay there and I can work on the upper portion. I'm gonna go up just a little bit more here. And now we're gonna tighten. So the end goal, we're gonna look for 25 foot-pounds of torque. Once we have that nice and tight, we're gonna tighten all of these bolts here now. Now we can move on to the tire carrier portion of the install. Okay, so the next step is pretty simple. This will actually help loading the tire. It doesn't carry a ton of load on the tire, but it's very helpful when we tilt the tire onto the carrier. You're gonna need 2 of these bolts. Again, they've got the plastic tabs on them. We're gonna remove them. And this again is a size 13 wrench. So all the bolts that we use, by the way, we don't use stainless steel hardware because it's, in our opinion, it's not strong enough. But this hardware is zinc coated and painted. And then we include the plastic tabs, which will prevent any rusting. The next step is going to be kind of decided by what kind of wheels and tires you have on a vehicle. We don't have wheels and tires mounted yet for this one. Basically, the height will be determined on how large the tire diameter is. So once you have that height determined, and it's super easy to adjust, this will get tightened. And same thing with the length of the bolt. This should be trimmed depending on what kind of wheel you're using. So different offset. Once you kind of have the wheel and tire in place, you will cut this bolt down. Again, it's determined by the depth of the wheel. So just to demonstrate the installation, how it's going to look at the end, once we have this centered, the bolt is trimmed, we have the correct middle piece. Most Mercedes is going to have our middle cone, but we have a smaller, larger, and even extra large cone for the middle. If you're using super singles, like from Rika, you're gonna need the extra large cone. So when ordering the system, you gotta make sure you have the right one. So moving on, we're gonna install the foot pegs. Foot peg goes on this side. Hey, the bolt, I'm using a T50 for this. So basically, bolt goes in, foot peg goes on the side. You wanna make sure you don't over torque this one. This guy will actually go this way. So we did it this way because it's a lot easier to climb up. Final steps, we're going to cover up the 4 bolts that are attached to the hinges. These 2 covers, the wider one will go on the bottom, and it's maybe a little bit tricky, but what you want to do is you want to put it away like this. Once that piece to the right is inside a little bit, we're going to push down, and then it should go in just like that. So again, we're gonna push in just where this tab is catching the round piece of the rack. You're going to push down and it will snap in, hopefully, like that. So that's pretty much the whole installation. Obviously you still need a spare tire, which will go here. I removed the middle part just so I don't poke my eye out until we get the spare tire in here. Next step, Rover Vans accessory rack for Mercedes Sprinter. So step 1, we're gonna remove the Mercedes emblem. Step 2, so once we have the emblem off, we don't really have to do anything because these holes are already there by Mercedes. We're gonna use these T5 screws that are going to go on this side. So as soon as we have the emblem, we're gonna attach the middle bracket to the accessory rack. You're gonna use one of these guys from this side. So one of the advantages of having this hardware hidden away like this is it's a lot tougher to steal these than if everything is exposed. Plus you're not really looking at that hardware, which I think having it kind of enclosed like that makes it a little more attractive. We have it tight enough where it's holding, but it's still loose enough where you can move the unit. Next step will be to put it onto the hinges. The black part goes over the stainless steel part. So same thing on the bottom. So once you have that, you want to get the middle bracket over these bolts. And then we can actually install the emblem. And again, I'm only going to hand tighten this as the next step. You want to align where the stainless steel tabs have an equal amount of spacing up and down. I'm going to grab a number 15 for this. And once this is tight, we're going to continue tightening the 2 bolts here and the 2 bolts underneath the accessory rack. At this point, we can kind of test if the doors are opening and closing. We don't have to be concerned with realigning the doors because we're not removing the hinges or the brackets. This was a completely drill-less installation. And again, after a ton of testing, we decided no longer to drill in here or into the door. Super solid installation, super solid product. All that's left is to insert these 2 brackets. Pop right in. There you have it, Rover Vans accessory rack for Mercedes Sprinter. This product is ultra heavy duty, by the way, rated for 200 plus pounds. There is a strengthening piece underneath, and you can use it for another spare tire if you want, for a Titan box or one of our ski boxes. So this has like a multitude of uses. Depending on what your adventure is, you can set it up that way.